Hey everybody, Wrights Crispy here at the Levy County Sheriff's Office. I'm here with Rogue Nation. So right there. And we're doing a follow-up for apparently somebody from here called the Albuquerque police on them. Hi. How are you?
Good. How can I help you?
I have a few public records requests to make, please.
Okay. What are they, dear?
Alright, could I please have the names, badge numbers, and vehicle assignments for sworn deputies
Names, badges.
and vehicle assignments?
Yeah. Let me.
That's not it. I have.
What we can do to help us.
Oh. I have a couple more things.
What are the other?
I'm sorry?
What are the other things you would like?
Could I please have the standard operating procedures or general orders in a PDF format, please?
PDF form. Okay.
Like the policies and procedures? Or... And 10 codes and dispatch codes.
You're calling me.
And also, any phone calls, emails, or memos generated involving an incident where a dispatcher called Albuquerque PD for a wellness check on a citizen who was calling here. Do you know the incident I'm referring to?
And it was a well-being check?
I believe so, but it was more a harassment, retaliation.
Okay. All right. Let me, she went to find Lieutenant Tubman. He's over our professional standards.
I'm sorry, I'm hard of hearing and there's a lot of noise.
Yeah.
You said a lieutenant?
She went to find Lieutenant Tubman. He's over all this, so he'll be able to
Okay,
find
thank
what
you.
you need.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
And could you please to write down my email to send that?
Sure.
Yeah.
What's your email?
Rights, RIGHTS, Crispy, CRISPY, at gmail.com.
At gmail.com?
Yes, please. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Here for fingerprint? Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow. Can you hang on to that for me? She said that somebody went to go get a lieutenant for us. Covering that matter, I'm familiar with it. There it is.
Afternoon, gentlemen.
Hey, Lieutenant.
I am.
Lieutenant Tubman.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Finn. Finn.
Finn, nice to meet you, Finn.
Nice to meet you.
George?
Yep.
Okay, is this y'all's request?
Yes, sir.
Name and badge number, vehicle numbers.
Yes, sir. Who's patrolling our streets?
Okay. Standard operational procedure. Policy, procedure, 10 codes, and so. Okay. Explain this to me.
All right, there was a phone call
Mm-hmm.
made to Albuquerque PD from here
Okay.
to initiate a wellness check on somebody who was making a phone call here.
A citizen had called here to redress his grievances about a video that he saw online, and the dispatcher
Luke, is that
here
right?
called Albuquerque PD to have a wellness check done on him.
Okay. I'd have better luck throwing a dart in the dark. Can you give me what I need to look for so I can at least
It happened in
start
October. Any calls from this agency to Albuquerque PD? And any
Do you all happen to
memos,
have a
Yes, ma'am.
emails
phone
generated?
number that I could search or something along those lines?
I mean, how many times do you guys contact Albuquerque from here?
Yeah, but I'm looking for a phone number. I would be looking for a phone number because if I'm looking through a list, it's not going to say you called Albuquerque Police Department. It's just going to give me a phone number. So I'm looking to target the search a little bit
Area code.
better. Yeah, target the search a little bit better for you so you get to what you're after.
I don't know what the area code is out there. Hold on, let me look it up.
I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm just trying to save a little
Narrow
bit
the
of
search.
yeah, narrow the search spectrum a little bit.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm going through thousands of phone calls
Albuquerque area code.
in the month of October of this year.
Okay.
It would be 505 and 575.
505 and 575. Okay.
Yep, those would be the area codes for out there. So any calls from here to those area codes.
Okay.
As well as any emails or memos generated from that incident.
Yeah, so we're not sure what dispatcher called. Where didn't he put something out that had some information? on
Yeah.
it? Brett, is that on his page?
Mm-hmm. Community.
Was this at the beginning of the month, end of the month, middle of the month?
Middle of the month.
Middle of the month. Okay. And it was a wellness check. Does Albuquerque Police Department have a record of the wellness check?
I believe so.
Okay. By any chance, would you happen to have anything that might focus at least my phone call to them, hey, you did a wellness check?
No, sir.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm trying to find it right now.
In a second, my colleague can give you the records.
I'm sorry.
My colleague's going to give you the records
Uh-huh.
in just a second of the actual call that was made.
Yeah,
Okay.
So it was received on 9/20/24
Okay.
at 5:49:33 a.m.
Say that again?
That 9/20/24 at 5:49 a.m.
AM, okay.
says,
And that was our call to Albuquerque?
yeah, hang on, I'll read the. It's like a CAD that they
Is there
generate.
a CAD number?
Yeah, here.
That was
well,
really-
well. This is from Albuquerque, so
Sure.
and so it's a New Mexico number NM00. So I'm not even sure.
Okay, what I'm looking at there is not a phone call, that's a teletype.
Okay.
There's a huge difference.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
I would have been looking for something I'd have never found.
Okay, so this.
Okay, so read that NM.
00
Mm-hmm.
1, and then it looks like a 0 or
Yeah.
10.
100. Does that sound right?
Yeah, 10100.
Okay. Cool.
And let's see what else. It's got the station, the control. Do you need any of that?
No, so we call this number up here a mnemonic.
Yeah. So
And-
what was that all about, Lieutenant? The issue is that somebody was calling to seek redress for their grievances, as is
Okay.
protected under the First Amendment.
Sure.
and retaliation, clear retaliation from this agency using another agency, I mean, that's definitely a federal issue, civil matter. We want to get to the bottom of it. Is the behavior being corrected? Can the dispatcher be retrained? You can't call the cops on somebody just because you didn't like what they said to you on the phone.
Okay, well, you're asking me to comment on something that I have zero information about,
Okay.
so it would be inappropriate for me to make a comment about that at this moment.
All right.
Until I look into the situation.
Let's say, hypothetically speaking, if somebody called and bellyached to your agency, and they did it so much so to alarm these people in here who are your dispatch employees.
These ladies in here aren't the dispatch
Well,
employees, but,
anyways,
yeah.
whoever is the dispatcher, are they authorized to call another agency and do a wellness check in another state? Can they do that? Because there were a lot of thank yous in that, like it was a favor, like a professional courtesy type of thing.
Again, that would be inappropriate for me to comment on until I look into the situation. I mean,
Yeah.
Who am I to say what was said to our dispatcher over the phone that may have given rise to concern about that person's well-being? I have no idea.
I'll be honest,
This-
I personally don't like this. I don't like this situation
Well,
at all. I hope you don't like it either. I hope you get it fixed.
This is authorized.
If there's something to fix, yes, it
Yeah.
will be fixed. But if there's not something that needs to be fixed, then we're going to continue on trying to take care of the safety of our citizens in the United States, whether they reach across county lines or state lines. If
Okay.
we have a founded fear, then we're required to act on that founded fear.
What if it's unfounded? They shouldn't act like that, right?
Well,
In the hypothetical.
that's the converse of what I just said. So.
In the hypothetical of what I'm saying. In that.
So enlarge your request to the calls made to this dispatcher, because we want to get to the bottom of it.
Okay.
If these persons are calling and threatening citizens, we want to know about that as well.
Sure.
But if they're just calling and redressing their grievances,
Mm-hmm.
so let's enlarge that request to get the
Yeah, we
things
want to
here.
get the
Now,
phone calls that
this
were made as well.
involved-
So Rogue Nation and I were under the impression that there was just one phone call made and these cops retaliated because the dispatcher got upset. But the fact is that there were several phone calls every day for several weeks. This is just one example. And in my opinion, this is not how you seek redress for your grievances. In my opinion, this doesn't help at all.
Jimmy Anderson, you f***ing coward. You little bitch. You gonna come after my fucking family? Come and get me, fucking copper. You come after my fucking family, you'll be lucky that you don't lose your fucking head, motherfucker. Try me. Try me. You believe that you can do whatever the fuck you want to do? Well, guess what? Officer safety don't guarantee that you get to do whatever the fuck you want to do, you fucking coward piece of motherfucker. Quit eating fucking donuts, doofus.
It says here Lieutenant Narayan and Officer K. McIntyre. Are those officers here?
Is that with your agency, Lieutenant?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So they'll probably be able to give you more information, because it says here that they're authorized. Thank you, Levy County Sheriff's Office. Your phone number authorized, Lieutenant
Narayan.
Narayan, Officer K. McIntyre.
Are there any names referenced in that would help me focus the search a little bit more for you?
No, looks like this stuff was redacted, so I'm sure
Mhm.
that you could probably get all that information. It's not redacted for you, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
SSC number. So, but it's
So
a subject
through our
that we
communications supervisor, I can retrieve the message that was sent to that mnemonic. That's not going to be an issue for me.
Okay.
Okay.
And then if we start looking for phone calls that might be related to the prompting of that message being sent,
Yeah.
I'll see if I can't put my hands on those
Right,
too.
right.
I want to
because-
get the full story. If somebody was making a threat that is not protected under the First Amendment
Right.
right,
Uh-huh.
then, the point is moot. You did what you had to do.
Right.
Okay?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, we're fair.
Yep.
I appreciate that. I'm going to be fair with y'all too, but
Okay.
I want this, and it's like taking a stab in the dark.
Right, yeah. With
Yeah,
with
no,
so
I'm sure
much
if you-
information.
Yeah.
You speak to either one of those officers, they'll remember, oh, yeah, the New Mexico thing.
Okay.
I mean, how many times do they reach out to another agency like that?
A lot more than what you could probably
Oh, yeah?
envision, yes.
Okay.
You know, our communication center is operational for 24/7, and we have constant receive and send of messaging through the teletype system, which is NCIC and FCIC. Phone calls. It wouldn't be uncommon for us to get a phone call from another state, from an officer in another state who might be on the scene saying, hey, can you dispatch a deputy to this location? And then trying to locate that is literally trying to stab in the dark if I don't have a date and a time to start with, or a phone number that I can research.
Okay. I hope that helped.
Now, yes,
yeah.
yes. Getting the mnemonic of where we sent that message to is really going to narrow and focus my search for y'all tremendously.
Okay.
So, and I'm sure that I'm speaking to the choir on this. Under Chapter 119, I can charge reasonable fees to get this information to y'all. So
And-
I
Reasonable.
And
Yeah.
also, as long as there's an extensive use of time, I'm actually getting ready to. Do you guys have a public records department here?
Well, you're kind of looking at them. We do
Okay.
have we use an online portal system that's available from our webpage.
Okay.
And-
I want to avoid that. Just send it to my email.
Yeah.
And writescrispy@gmail.com.
Yes,
Right.
sir. And you could
Yeah.
teletype that all day long, and it'll let you know who I am and how I operate. And
Okay.
all right.
But and let me clarify for him. We know that you have to submit that to your portal. That's what keeps track for you, right?
I
Like
can
your
I can
records.
take a records request in any format.
Right.
Statute requires me to.
Well,
Yes, sir.
right, not just take it,
Yeah.
but a lot of times the agency will try to say, well, we got this portal, so we can't send it to you. And it's because the agency is requiring them to put all these requests into the portal, right? For tracking purposes.
Sure.
And we understand that, and we're
Yeah.
fine with that, but he still wants the information emailed, even if you put it into the portal. He still wants
It is
Yeah.
delivered from our portal in an email format. So it would be a document attached to an email notification from our portal.
Yeah,
If
and
that
I
makes sense.
and I want to avoid the portal. I don't want to have to go through the portal, and
Okay.
the
Right.
the law does
Sure.
say that I can avoid that completely.
Sure.
And I've gone
Right.
through this with several agencies, including Miami PD. You're right, and they just send it directly to my email without me having to log into a portal.
Okay, well, let me ask you the relevant question for at least my agency. If we use some clerical and IT assistance to locate this and it comes into dollars and cents, how are you going to pay for that? Do you want, I want me to send you an invoice and you pay it that way? Because currently our online pay is only through our portal system.
Okay, I'm not expecting to have to pay anything because I asked for a PDF format of your SOP, so that should be digital.
Okay.
No papers printed, as well as your roster, which should be readily available right now.
Well, not in a PDF format. That would require me to create a record because we don't have a record matching your specifications.
You don't have vehicle assignments,
Yeah, we have vehicle assignments, but
so it's
not
printed
in-
up, right?
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
Not on the
it's-
computer.
It's on a card system that is our current tracking method here.
Okay.
And that's
So like
kept
a
in our
physical
HR.
card type deal? Okay. All right, so, and Florida law, we can't ask them to create a record in order to request a record, so we can't get that, but,
I'll see what I can do to accommodate you, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to go through an extensive amount of work to create a record when statute says I don't have to.
right,
Well,
and we
you
don't
know,
want you to because we don't want the $1,000 bill. Right?
I haven't
You're
had
laughing,
any.
but we've had $1,000 bills.
I'm
for-
sorry,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
who are the people in your neighborhood? That's something we learned in Sesame Street. And especially if you have a badge and a gun, we should know who's in our neighborhood, who's patrolling the streets, who are the deputies on your roster, and what vehicle they're driving. If they cut me off in traffic, I don't want to have to stop him and get his ID number in order to put in a complaint. I can say, "Oh, that's that guy again," and I can send
He
it into
always
you.
cuts me off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to Lieutenant.
Just another
here about
hypothetical.
getting some driving
So
training.
it's just common courtesy and sense in the entire country. I do this from sea to shining sea, and everybody gives me a roster. Never have I been charged for a roster.
Okay. I'm telling you that I don't have a roster in the format that you're requesting it in. I would have to create
Okay.
one. And
What-
119
and-
doesn't require me to create a record to satisfy a request.
Okay, so there's no way you can print out what you have?
Well, if he can, because of the card system that he's talking about, Florida law does allow for the inspection of copying of records ourselves. And in that case, all we would need to do is see the card system that you have, and then we can
Correct.
photograph it ourselves. And that is something that we can do here today, as long as there's some place where we can go that is available to look at the card system.
Actually, right now is not a good time. I was in training. I'm the custodian for the records. I've come out of training to come and speak with you gentlemen today. Those records are kept with our HR manager. I have no idea what her schedule is, so we would have to set an appointment for y'all to come and do that.
Okay.
So,
Well, now,
So I'm just physically, I'm trying to think. It's like on a Rolodex. Is that what you're talking about? Like a card?
I think it's a card filing system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just bought a bunch of vinyl records for my friend, and she lives in Massachusetts. She just did a video of all the records, and I just watched that video, and I picked out which ones I wanted, and I let her know. So can you just do a video of that and send me a copy of that? Yeah. And however many minutes it takes you to do that, can you charge me for that?
But that's creating a record that is not normally kept. It's
not-
creating a record to satisfy your
Okay,
request.
so
Yeah,
you guys can operate in secret. Your roster can just be not produced. Okay.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Okay, then.
He offered the solution just a second ago.
right.
All right.
for us
So
to-
can we
to-
schedule an appointment and come and inspect
Sure.
that?
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, we
Sure
can
can.
do that, but and here's the kicker, and we're not going to push it today because again, like you said, but technically we're not supposed to have a 24-hour wait period in order to inspect the records. So even if you're not available, if the HR person isn't available, there should be somebody available.
And there's
Because
case law.
all we're talking about is just watching us while we go through and make sure we're not ripping stuff up. I mean,
Sure.
a teenager could watch us do it, right? It doesn't need no special, education to watch us, film this card index. So
Well, one thing as a
Technically.
custodian of records that I would have to ensure is there's not additional information that's on that card that would be something that's not subject to a public record.
okay,
So I would first have to look at it to make sure that it doesn't
no
contain restricted.
redactable.
Yeah, it doesn't contain restricted information.
Okay.
And then y'all can look at it. So,
So let's
I'm
do
not
this.
denying your request. I'm
right,
just telling
and
you.
like I said, we're probably not going to get into it today anyway
Okay.
because we just popped in here, right?
Yeah.
And we're, and we see that you want to comply, and we want
Yeah.
you to comply, and I'm sure compliance is right
What do
around
you mean
the
we?
corner. Me, you,
No.
we. Okay, so what we can do is we can call and set up an appointment
Sure.
to come in and take a look at that Rolodex, and that way you'll have time to see if there's anything that needs redacted on there. But yeah, I think that's the best that we can do. on
Okay.
that, as
How
far as
about I
that goes.
get you my business card so you know who to contact and schedule a meeting,
Yeah.
and I'll be right back. So
Yep.
let me do some research on finding this information for you. I will send you. This is your email.
Yes,
correct,
sir.
Okay,
I'll
send
copy
you-
him.
Yeah, he'll copy me.
Okay, I'll send you an email and let you know what I find. Now, when you say SOPs,
Standard operating procedures.
Or general orders or
Guidelines.
policies and procedures.
you want all of them.
Yes,
Okay.
in a PDF format.
Okay.
Do you normally have them in a PDF format, or is
They
it?
are digital, yes. sir.
Okay, see, that's a lot easier than the roster, then, right?
Yeah, because I'm
Okay.
not having to create it.
Right,
It's
right.
already created.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just email it to him.
Okay, and our 10 codes and signals.
You guys sticking with those, or are you gonna?
Sorry?
Are you sticking with 10 codes and signal codes, or are you gonna make the change like most other agencies and just plain English?
I don't have a say-so on that matter, so.
Oh, okay. No,
Has it
a
been
lot of
brought
it.
up at all?
No, that hasn't been brought up that I'm aware of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were just
But
wondering.
I'm not.
Because we
in
get that a
every
lot.
meeting.
We say, "Oh, we'll give you the 10 codes and signal codes, but we're changing to plain English pretty soon," and that's what a lot of
Well, a
agencies
lot
are
of them are
doing.
going encrypted too anyway, so.
Well, our radio system is encrypted,
Okay.
and although I listen to it most every day, I hear kind of a mix. So you take somebody like me that's been employed with the agency for 31 years. I was brought up on the second language of 10 codes and signals. I will start spitting out codes and signals,
Right.
where some of our newer deputies may not.
Right.
Can you demand ID from a 13 Papa?
Say again?
Signal 13
Uh-huh.
Papa? Can you demand his ID
Depends on where he's at.
if
Yeah.
he's on private property?
If he has no legitimate purpose there, yes, I have a right to identify him.
Even if you just told him to get out of there and he gets out of there?
I'm probably not gonna let him out of there until I know who he is.
And therein lies the problem. You can't demand ID per 901.151 Florida State statute
Okay.
until he actually commits the crime of
If he
trespassing.
If he is trespassing and has been asked to leave, I mean, if I got a suspicious person
Right.
and he's on private property, the call to the agency is going to be for a trespass issue.
To
So therefore,
a trespass warning.
potentially, yes.
And then you have to give him a chance to leave. And you can't demand his ID on the way up.
Unless the owner of the property has already told him to leave and the guy says, I'm not leaving until the cops show up, and then the owner asks that they be trespassed from the property, then I have
And
to
then-
identify who I'm trespassing.
Well, then you have to get him to leave, because as you know, an officer can't arrest for a misdemeanor not done in his presence. So when the officer arrives, the officer goes to the owner, sir, do you want this guy trespassed? Yes, I want him trespassed. Sir, you are now trespassed. Now he has an opportunity to leave
Without being ID'd.
without being ID'd. And the case law for this in Florida is Jesowitz versus State, Gestewitz. It happened on the West Coast.
Okay.
A
West
gentleman,
Coast of,
Florida.
okay,
Yeah, it's a Florida case.
okay.
So, and I like to tell officers, because
We get that a
it's
lot.
an it's an easy way to escape liability. You know what I mean? For people, I'm gonna say like me, who go out and record officers and stuff like this. This is something easy that the officers should know. A lot of times they don't know.
Education for fun and for free.
Trespassing warning is a civil issue. In Jesowitz versus State, there was a gentleman who was in a bar. Bar owner wanted him to leave. He wouldn't leave. He called the police. While waiting for the police to show up, the gentleman exited the bar. He was now on the sidewalk. Officer stopped.
We're talking about a totally different scenario there.
No, he's getting
I
to it. He's
understand
getting
where
to
you're
it.
going,
Right,
but
so-
that's not the scenario presented to me just a
Right, he
second
was
ago.
still on the
Okay, this is the
property,
case
what you
law
were
that
saying.
covers that
Sure,
scenario.
So he had ended up leaving, but the officer still wanted to give him a trespass warning, so he detained him,
Okay.
asked him for ID. Well, the gentleman goes in his pocket to grab his wallet, grab his ID, a bag of Rufinol fell out of his pocket, right? So,
The date
boom.
rape drug.
So yeah, so boom, now they got him on drugs, right? Well, he goes to court, the judge says no. He says trespass warning is civil. You cannot detain somebody, nor can you get ID for a trespassing warning. So they had to obviously kick the guy out. The drugs were fruit of the poisonous tree.
A good bus gone bad because
Yeah,
the guys
good-
jumped the
good bus-
gun.
good bus
and,
gone bad.
and that's why I wanted to clarify it with you. Unless they step back on that property after they've been warned, you got to give them the opportunity to leave without making them surrender their Fourth Amendment right to be secure in their papers. Because 901.151 says you have to have reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime having been committed. And that is just a warning. No crime has been committed yet until he's gone back and committed criminal trespass. Then you
I've
can
always
get.
said if you don't learn something every day, then you're falling behind.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
And the
Amen.
day I don't learn something, I quit.
Yeah. And yeah, the day my wife doesn't tell me I'm stupid and I need to learn something is the day I quit.
Give me just a second, let me get you my card.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Back to back. Tough.
All points bulletin.
Be on the lookout for
I'm gonna take
Crispy
one of these.
Nation.
Oh, they got a lot of stuff here. Like, I'd like to go by and see this ranch. Isn't that like a lovely ranch? You got some kids there.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what else is going on out there.
Mhm.
There's some behind the shed P. Diddy parties.
Who runs these machines in the dark back here? There's a guy.
Is there a name on there?
Probably.
This one says UCP.
Hey, thank you, sir.
And one for your partner wherever you
Yes,
stepped
sir.
off to.
Oh, I'm just looking at the gumball machine.
And again, you'll find all my
I wouldn't
information.
recommend one. I have no idea how long they've been there.
Yeah. Yeah, they're in the dark. That's what we were saying.
Well, they just moved and they were sitting right there, but we put the Toys for Tots. Figured that was more important than gun
Yes,
laws.
sir.
Excellent.
Thank you for that.
Professional standards too, Commander. Excellent.
Look at that. Semper Fi.
Thank you, sir.
Gentlemen, is there anything else I can do for y'all?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah, we're good.
Thanks.
All right, I better get back to training so I don't get in
Yep,
trouble.
go fight crime.
Absolutely. And we'll let you know when we're gonna come by and come in for those, all right? Yep. Thank you, buddy.
All right.
Took it out too expensive.
I know.
All All right. He was willing to learn, and he did.